presentation from my side. Let me share the screen. Okay. Right. Okay. So here, 1 minute, please.
Venkat garu, give me permission to.
Okay, 1 minute. Let me check. Okay. Okay, you can record the session. Okay. Right. Fine. So if you see here, what master database will do exactly? Simply master database will store all. Yes. Any issues? Right. Satya, you can record the session. Right. So master database will simply store the metadata of all other objects. What is metadata of all other objects? Metadata means data about the data. Say for example, we have a table. What is the metadata for this table? How many records are there? How many columns are there? What are the data types of each column? Okay. What is the storage of this table? Where exactly this table is located? On how many pages this table is created? These things are metadata. Okay, the details about the object is a metadata. So all the metadata related information will be stored in your master database. Master is very critical and crucial database. If master is corrupted, you cannot start the SQL Server. Why? Because so whenever SQL Server is starting, actually SQL Server is looking for 3 files. What are those 3 files? Master database data files, master database log files, and error log file. These 3 files are called startup parameters. Where I can see the startup parameters? If you go to services.msc or configuration manager, if you go to main service properties, okay, main service properties means database engine service properties, okay, there you can see our SQL service main service, right? Go to the properties of this main database engine service. Go to the log on. Okay. Wait a minute. Dependencies. Okay. Okay, that's fine. For earlier versions, you can see in the services.msc. Let me go to the configuration manager. Okay. In the configuration manager also you can see. Go to configuration manager. Okay, so go to your SQL Server services, go to the main service. Okay, if you go to the properties of this main service, okay, there you can see startup parameters. Okay, there is a one tab called startup parameters. Okay, if you see here, there are actually 3 parameters. Okay, if you see, just let me copy these things. Okay, Control A, Control C, and let me go to the management studio. Okay, let me go to the notepad. Okay. Just 1 minute, please. Right. Okay. And this is my master database data file. And if you go to the properties, okay. Okay. And Control A, Control C, okay. And Control V. Please master.mdf, right? -dc. Why again I'm getting like this? Okay. Right. Okay. So these three are called startup parameters. Okay. These three are called startup parameters. These are very important files. Okay. What are these files? Again, master database data file and your master database log file and your error log file. Why? Because if something happened to the SQL server, it has to write the log, right? So where it is exactly blocking, why the SQL server is not starting. So everything, once SQL server is started, it will start writing the errors. Okay, once SQL server is started, it will start writing the errors to this error log file. Okay, if you see here -d, -e, -l, -d means data file, -e means error log, and -l means log file. Okay, these are the startup parameters. Before starting your SQL server, means now you are going to start the SQL server. Then first of all, SQL server will check whether data file is there in this location or not, whether error log file is there in this location or not, whether my log file, master database log file is there in this location or not. You once it will check the paths, and once the file is there, if you just copy paste this file path, okay, just up to here only, copy and go to your server and Windows R, paste it, enter. There you can see master database data file and master database log file. Okay. And if you copy paste this error log file also, let me copy paste up to here log. Okay. Go to the server, Windows R. Okay. Just enter. You can see error log file. Okay. These three files, whenever you're starting the SQL server, first of all, SQL Server will check these three files: master database data file, master database log file, and your error log file. These three files should be there. Okay. Then if these three files are there, then only your SQL Server will start. If someone deleted this file or someone moved this master database file from this location to another location, you cannot start the SQL Server. These are all startup parameters. Okay, while starting the SQL Server will look for these three files. If these again, so why? Because in case if you are unable to start the SQL Server, or if you are getting errors, or your SQL Server is not starting, okay, just check whether these files are there or not. Okay, in my server, it is there in this path. In your server, if you are working for any company, maybe they just stored the files in different location. How can we find the path of the master database data file, log file, and error log file? Simply go to the configuration manager. There you can see the main service and double click on the main service. You can see a window like this. Select the startup parameters. There you can see the startup parameters. Again, this window is very important, guys. While giving, okay, while enabling the trace flags, we'll discuss what is the trace flag and all. While enabling the trace flags, okay, we are going to enable the trace flags using the startup parameter options only. Okay, we are going to enable the trace flags using the startup parameters options only. I'll tell you how to enable it. Okay, some trace flags we are going to use different trace flags and all. So I'll tell you how to enable it. Okay, while enabling the trace flags on the SQL server, again we are going to use the same startup parameter screen so that we can enable the trace flags and all on the SQL server. Okay, right. So these files are very important. Whenever SQL server is starting, SQL Server will look for these three files. Once these three files are there in the specific location, then only your SQL Server will start. If anyone changed master database data file, master database log file, okay, or error log file, you cannot start the SQL Server. Then how to troubleshoot? Just go to the configuration, just check the path of the startup parameters, go to the particular path physically, check whether the files are there in that location or not. In case if you don't find the files in that location, search where is the files in the Windows system, then try to copy the files. That is one thing. Or else you can simply change the path here. You can simply change the path here. You know, in some location the files are there. Instead of copying, what you can do is you can simply change the path here. You can click on update button, whatever you want to update it, whatever new path you want to give it, simply select it and give the new path, so that automatically it is going to update. And from then onwards, it is going to take care of the new path and all. Then while starting, SQL Server will search in the new path for the master database data file, log file, and error log file and all. In case if you are unable to start the SQL Server, this is one of the troubleshooting step. Clear, right? So master database will store the metadata of other databases, metadata of other objects like tables and all. It will store all the tables information. Again, only metadata. The data will be directly stored in the database only. Data will be stored in the sales database only. Okay, the table here, item table database data will be stored in the sales database files only. But the metadata of this items table will be stored in the master database, means table name, table size, how many number of columns, how many number of records. This information will be stored in the master database. Master database also store the path of other databases as well. Master database stores the path of other databases as well. Model database path will be stored in the master. MSDB database path in the stored MSDB database path is stored in the master database. TempDB, employee, sales, student, all other database paths will be stored in the master database. That's why first master database will come online, as master knows the paths of other databases. Once master comes online, then only other system databases and other user databases will come online. Sometimes in the interview, you are going to get the question like this. When you start the SQL Server, which system database will come to online first? Which system database will come to online? Master database will come to online first. Okay. So I told you, right? Master database will store the metadata information. Okay. Contains all the system objects like how many tables, columns, and about all the metadata information will be stored in the master database. It's an instance level configuration settings also will be stored in the master database. Okay, whatever settings are there for this instance. Okay, if you go to the properties, whatever values, what are the configuration values are there. Okay, everything will be stored in the like this memory values, minimum value, maximum value, whatever memory settings are there, whatever other settings are there, every information will be stored in the master database. Every information will be stored in the master database. So instance level configuration settings also will be stored in the master database. Okay, and it will know about all other database paths and all, in which database, in which location other databases are stored. Okay, all these paths information also will be stored in the master database. Files of each database. Paths means database path means files only, right? So it is going to store the file paths of each database also in the master database. Logins, okay, who is going to log in into your SQL Server? The logins information. So if you go to this server, if you go to the security, okay, if you go to the login section, there you can see multiple people, right? Again, these people only can log into my SQL Server. If anyone wants to log into the SQL Server, they have to provide the password, right? So logins information and the logins passwords information also will be stored in the master database. In case if the login is not existed, if you are still, see for example, I'm trying to connect to the same server using different login. Okay, the server name is same. I'm going to connect to the server using different login. Let me give some other name like Karthik. Okay, if I gave Karthik name and if I give the password, simply it will throw you the error. Why? Because there is no Karthik login in this list. In case Karthik login is there, then I can log in. If Karthik login is not there, I cannot log in. So don't think anyone can access my Windows server. That doesn't mean they can access the SQL server. No. If you are a member of this login list, then only you can connect to the SQL server and you can access the SQL server. Otherwise, you cannot connect to the SQL server. You will get an error like this. Okay, right? So this logins information and the passwords information also will be stored in your master database only. Master is very critical database. Okay, and files, logins, linked servers, other objects information, linked servers information also will be stored in the master database. If there is no master database, we cannot start the SQL server. Okay, if someone is deleted the master database data file or log file, if master database is corrupted, or if you move the master database data files and log files location, you cannot start your SQL server. Okay, so it is very important. Master database is very important. At least No need to remember all these values. At least try to remember the main important things. Master database will store the metadata of all other objects. Master data will store the configuration settings of the system databases. Master database, okay. Master database will store the logins information and their passwords information also in the master database. Okay, so these are the main important things that is going to store in the master database. Master database also knows the paths of other system databases and other user databases also. So whenever you start the SQL server, master database will come first. Then only based on the master database, all other system databases and user databases will comes to online. Is it clear about the master database? Any issues, any doubts? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Right, okay. Thank you for that. Next important database is model database. Okay, if you see here after master, you can see the model database in the list. What model database will do, you know? Model database will act as a template for newly created databases. It will act as a template for newly created databases. Okay. So for example, you are using the smartphone, right? So if you are busy, usually if someone is calling you, you can see some templates. I'm busy, I'll call you later. I'm driving, call you later. So you can see these kind of templates. If you select the template, automatically the person who is calling, he is going to get the message. Okay, that you are busy, like that he is going to get the message. Means no need to type the whole message. I mean driving, call you later. No need to type the whole message. That is a template message. Once you just select that particular template, means a pre-formatted message. Okay. Once you just select that particular template, automatically the caller will get the template and he is going to get the message and he can able to know that you are busy or you are in driving. Okay. That means that is already a predefined message. Okay. So in the same way, in case, okay, if you are creating a new database, okay, all new databases will follow model database. Model database will act as a template for the newly created databases. Very small point. The main important thing is model will act as a template for the newly created databases. If there is no model databases, you cannot create new databases. Okay, if there is no model database, you cannot create new database. Simply, I'll tell you one thing. Simply, whenever you're creating a new database, model will create a copy. Okay, and you are going to rename the copy of the model database. Model will create a copy of that database, model database, and simply say, for example, here right click, okay, new database, you just selected new database option, right? Here you're giving some, okay, what I can say, something like Amazon database. You just giving the database name like this. Okay, so if you see here, once you type Amazon, you can see Amazon and Amazon log. From where you are getting these files? Okay, data file log. I didn't select any options, right? Data file log file primary not applicable. Initial size is 8 MB and auto growth is 64 MB and it is going to store in this default location. Okay, and if you go to the options, all these options, some of the options will be true, some of the options are false. Okay, you can see some of them on or off, and you can see the full recovery model and 140. And if you go to the file groups, primary file groups, from where you are getting all these things without giving? Means simply you are renaming a copy of the model database. Already all these things are predefined in model database. Whenever you are creating a new database, the new database will follow the model database template. That's why you can create the database that much quickly without giving any options. I told you, right? You can create a database with 3 words: create database, database name. What it means? It means simply it will take the template of the model database and it is going to rename with the required database name. In case you are creating a database with the Amazon, simply it is going to rename the copy of the model database. Okay, always model will act as a template for the newly created databases. If my model database is corrupted, can I start my SQL server or not? If my model is corrupted, can I start my SQL server?
No. No.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. No. Why no? Someone said no. Why no? If my model is corrupted, why I cannot start my SQL server? If my model is corrupted, simply I cannot create a new databases, but
Yes.
I can start the SQL server, right?
Yeah, because it relies on master data.
Yes. Someone said no. Why no?
So templates already deleted now, sir. If it is model data is corrected.
Model data is corrupted, templates deleted. Okay, if templates deleted, I cannot create the new database.
Yes, that is what my
But SQL server will be up and running, right? Your SQL server will be up and running in case if your model is corrupted, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the answer is no. Okay, so in case if your model is corrupted, you cannot start the SQL server. I'll tell you why you cannot start the SQL server once we discussed all the system databases. Okay, as of now, the answer is no. If your model is corrupted, okay, you cannot start the SQL server as well, right? Next system database is MSDB. MSDB is an optional system databases. Again, optional means don't think like without MSDB, you can use all the features of SQL Server. All the automation related things, all the automation means what? I have 100 databases. I want to take the backup of 100 databases for every 15 minutes. Is it possible? I have 100 databases in my SQL Server. I want to take the backup of all these 100 databases for every 15 minutes. Is it possible? Is it possible to take the 100 databases backups for every 15 minutes? Yes or no? Not an issue.
Not manually, not manually, automatically.
Yes, very good. Not manually. Manually, it is not possible. It will be very difficult task. Okay. But automatically you can do it. What is meant by automatic? That is called automation. How we can achieve automation? By creating the jobs. If you just create a job for taking backups of all the databases for every 15 minutes, it is going to run the job for every 15 minutes and it is going to take the backups for every 15 minutes. That can be done using automation, but manually it is not possible. Manually taking 100 database backups is not at all possible. That can be achieved using only automation. That automation information will be stored in the MSDB. All the jobs related information. If you see here, if you expand the job agent, you can see the jobs and all. As of now, I haven't created any jobs. Okay, this is a default job you are going to get once you install the SQL Server. So all the automation related things like jobs information will be stored in the MSDB. Packages, SSIS packages information will be stored in the MSDB. Automation related thing, maintenance plans information will be stored in the MSDB. Everything, whatever automation related data is there, everything will be stored in the MSDB. So in case if my MSDB is corrupted, can I start my SQL Server or not? Yes, no,
Yes.
maybe.
We can start.
No, sir.
Why? Model is you just go for reverse, huh?
No,
Huh?
sir. All system databases are all four. It is pertaining to under master model MSDB, which anyone will be corrected, then the SQL server will not work it.
Not
Oh,
necessary.
okay. So in case if my MSDB is corrupted, SQL Server won't start, right?
SQL Server will start.
Okay.
We will start.
Okay.
Agent is not started. Will MSD is corrected.
Okay. Agent is not started. Very good. Yes, the answer is not an issue. In case if your MSDB is corrupted, your SQL Server will start, but automation will not work properly. Okay, jobs and all won't work properly. MSDB like maintenance plans, SSIS packages, they won't work properly. Okay, so MSDB is also a critical database, crucial database, but again, it's not critical than model and master and tempdb. somewhat optional database. In case if MSDB is corrupted, automation stuff will be disturbed. Remaining things are fine. Okay, you cannot create new jobs, you cannot run the existing jobs and all these. This is the main issue if your MSDB is corrupted. Okay, not only automation related stuff, backups information will be stored in the MSDB. Restore information will be stored in the MSDB tables. If you see here, if you expand MSDB, okay, if you expand the system tables, you can see there will be from 5 tables: backup file group, file media file, backup media set, backup set. These are very important tables, very important tables in case you want to check when anyone took any backup. We have different types of backups, right? When anyone took the backup, to what location took the backup, at what time they took the backup, what is the backup size, who took the backup. Okay, everything will be tracked using these backup tables. Very important thing. We are going to track sometimes if any issue is there. Sometimes someone will took the manual backups. We don't know to which location they took the manual backup. Then you can easily track it using the MSDB backup tables. Again, we'll have restore tables also. Okay, you can see 3 restore tables will be there: restore file group, restore history, and you can see log shipping table. 11 log shipping tables will be there. This is going to track the log shipping information, okay, using MSDB. So in case if your MSDB is corrupted, only automation stuff will be disturbed, but your SQL Server will be up and running, no issues. Okay, mainly MSDB will store the automation related information and all. Okay, clear? Any issues, any doubts? Right.
Just a
Well,
question here,
yes.
Keshav.
Yeah.
Now we're just going through theory part,
Yes,
which you
yes.
show it as in practical as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It will be theory part for the coming 2 days. Okay. Right. TempDB, yeah, okay. So MSDB is an optional database. It is used for automation like scheduling jobs, alerts. It will store all the data about the jobs and alerts. If it is corrupted, SQL Server will start and run. Okay. SSIS package information also will be stored in the SQL Server. Log shipping tables, backup tables, restore tables will be stored in the MSDB. These documents I have already shared with you, and you can go through it in case if you have any doubts. Okay. TempDB, okay, very critical database, TempDB. So TempDB means what it will do. What is the usage of the TempDB? Why we are going to call it as a TempDB? Okay. So TempDB means it is going to store the objects temporarily. How RAM is important to your mobile phone, smartphone. How RAM is important to your laptop. In the same way, TempDB will also act as a local RAM for the SQL Server. All the data processing will be done in the TempDB only. All the data processing will be done in the TempDB only. Everything, the whole data processing will be done in the TempDB only. Once the data processing is completed, then only the final data will be stored in the each database data files permanently. TempDB will be used for data processing. Okay, so all the users will store the data in the TempDB for temporary purpose. Okay, and it is better to maintain a separate. Why? Because all this is a common location. In case you are running one insert query, someone is running some set query, someone is running some other query, someone is running some different queries and all. Again, the whole processing, 100 users are connected to my SQL Server and they are doing lot of work. Okay, everyone's data processing will be done in the TempDB only. So TempDB is a common area for processing. So that's why if more people are connected and more people are running different queries and more queries, then there will be a lot of pressure on the TempDB. So what happened is, usually in the organization, we are going to maintain a separate drive for TempDB. We are going to store the TempDB files in a separate drive. Why? Because, okay, it will fill very quickly. Okay, why? Because everyone is using the same TempDB, right? So TempDB is like, there will be a lot of contention on the TempDB. So what happened is that the whole data processing and all will be done in the TempDB by creating the temporary tables. We cannot take the TempDB backup. Why we cannot take the TempDB backup? Why? Because TempDB will store the data temporarily. Okay. TempDB will store the data temporarily. So what is the use of taking the backup for the unsorted data? Mostly you can see unsorted data in the TempDB. Unsorted data will be there in the TempDB. So there will be no sorted order. So that is the main issue. So what happened is, okay, the TempDB data won't be backed up. So you cannot perform backup operation on the TempDB again. Only on 3 databases, 3 system databases, you can perform the backup. On 4th, which is on TempDB, you cannot take the backup. There is no option to take the backup of TempDB. Why? Because in the TempDB, unsorted data will be stored. Taking backup of unsorted data is not there in the Microsoft architecture, SQL Server architecture. So that's why you cannot perform TempDB backup. And one more important point related to the TempDB is TempDB will be created. A new TempDB will be created whenever you start the SQL Server. A new TempDB will be created whenever you start or restart the SQL Server. Okay. Now you are running right now in case, okay, you can see the TempDB now, right? And this is our TempDB, right? So if I start the SQL Server again, if I restart my SQL Server, the whole data will be cleared, and one more means not one more, a new TempDB will be created. Don't think like TempDB 1, 2, 3, nothing like that. Once you restart my SQL Server, whatever data is there in the TempDB will be cleared completely, and a new TempDB will be created. Every time a new TempDB will be created whenever you restart the SQL Server. Right? So now tell me, if there is no TempDB, can I start my SQL Server or not?
Yes, you can start.
Okay. Can I start my SQL Server? If there is no TempDB, can I start my SQL Server? So the answer is, can you start your laptop without having RAM?
No.
No, right? So I told you, right, TempDB will act as a RAM for the SQL Server. Okay, then how can you start the SQL Server if there is no RAM? Okay,
Yes,
so
yes, sir.
it won't start. Your SQL Server won't start in case if there is no TempDB. Why? Because where you are going to do the processing. What is the use of the SQL Server? What is the definition of the SQL Server? To store the data, to process the data, to retrieve the data. Everything is done in the TempDB only. If there is no TempDB, what is the use of the SQL Server now? How you are going to process the data? The main definition is you are going to process the data, right? Where you are going to process the data if there is no TempDB. So that's why if there is no TempDB, there is no SQL Server, right? So whenever you start the SQL Server, a new TempDB will be created. So while discussing the model database, we have discussed one point. If there is no model database, your SQL Server won't start. Whenever you restart the SQL Server, TempDB will be created. Now tell me the logic here. Why, if there is no model database, I cannot start the SQL Server? I'll tell you 2 points, very important points. Okay. Model database, usually it will act as a template for the newly created databases. First point. Second point is, whenever you restart the SQL Server, a new TempDB will be created. These 2 points are clear or not? Everyone, please let me know. These 2
Yes.
points are clear, right? So now tell me
Yes.
why I cannot start my SQL Server in case if my model is corrupted.
The main templates are being removed from the model when the TempDB is corrupted.
The main templates are removed. Okay, you are close to the answer.
Okay.
Right. So the answer is why I cannot start the SQL Server in case if my model is corrupted means whenever you restart the SQL Server, a new TempDB will be created, right? New TempDB means again it will depends upon the model properties only. If model is not there, how can a TempDB will be created? If TempDB is not there, how can the SQL Server will start? Is it clear, everyone? Always any new database will follow the properties of the model database. Model database will store the settings in which location it has to created, in which path the files has to be created. Okay, what is the size of each file? Okay, if model is corrupted, how can the temp DB will be created based on these properties? My model is created by, sorry, my model is corrupted. So you cannot, the temp DB creation, while creating the temp DB, it don't know the path where it has to be created. It don't know the path. It don't know the size. These things will be inherited from the model database. If model is down or if model is corrupted, how can temp DB will be created? If temp DB is not created, how can your SQL server will start? Is it clear? Do you want me to explain again?
Yes, yes, sir. Every time TempDB will be created. That's why we will model is compulsory, right?
Yes, whenever you start the SQL server, every time TempDB will be a new TempDB will be created. So whenever it is
Yes, sir.
creating a new TempDB, it will check whether model is available or not. If model is available, it will take the settings of the model and it will be created. If model is not available, TempDB won't be created. If TempDB is not there, SQL server won't start. Clear? Any issues? The meeting is going to close now. Let me reopen the meeting. Okay.